Rama Navami, the Supreme Incarnate. Lord Rama was born in Suryavanshi, Ikshvaku dynasty family in Treta Yuga to King Dasharatha and Queen Kaushalya in Ayodhya. He was born on the Navmi Tithi, the 9th day of the Shukla Paksh of the month of Chaitra. Puranic scriptures declare Ram as the 7th Supreme Incarnation of Lord Vishnu. As per the Ramayana, Narad Muni describes in the most beautiful verses to the other saints. He says, Ram, whose noble might and gentle skills the triple world can guard from ill, who is the best of princes, who loves his people's goodness, the store of bliss, the living mind, the brightest of joys and virtues shine, the queen's fortune, the best and the dearest friend, whose steps our choicest gifts attend. Ram, who may with sun and moon compare, with Indra, Vishnu, fire, air, water, ether. Narad Muni says, clear before whose eyes the present, the past and the futures lie. The hermit, our grace is found so high and rare, yet listen and my tongue shall tell, Ram, in whom alone all these virtues deals. From Ikshvaku's line he came, and the world knew him as Ram. With a soul subdued, a chief of might, in the scriptures versed, in glory so bright. Ram, his steps in virtue's paths, obedient, pure, eloquent, winning in success, and tall and broad-shouldered, strong of limbs, fortune set her mark on him in the form of Sita, graced with a conch shell, triple line. His thread displays the auspicious sign. Ram, majesty as divine, Ram. Salutations to Shri Rama. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Lord Rama, an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, who is measureless, who is of the nature of pure consciousness and bliss, consort of Sita, master of Sri Hanuman, and the Lord of the three worlds, who took his birth at his own will in order to establish righteousness, destroy the wicked, and protect his devotees. Rama Navami, the birthday of Lord Rama. Ram was Lord Hari himself incarnate for the destruction of Ravan accomplished, beautiful, endowed with royal marks. His glory and prowess were unlimited. He was peerless on earth. He was free from malice. He was gentle. He was the protector of all his people. He always addressed them in gentle words. He never used any harsh words, even when somebody provoked him. He held sway over the whole world. Our ideal, like Shri Rama, is remembered and adored for the purpose of adapting qualities in your own life. Rama Navami celebrations is an opportune period to saturate ourselves with the spirit of Lord Shri Rama. We love and adore our ideals because we express our yearning to unite with them. In our worship of God, it is implied we should be virtuous, good, and perfect. Therefore, one should become divine in order to be able to worship God, and become divine by worshipping Him. One cannot be a real worshipper of Lord Rama unless one makes an honest attempt to grow in the virtues that the Lord Rama represents. Worship of Lord Rama in itself is the surest means to develop the virtues. In devotion, one who approaches Sri Rama with love becomes large-hearted, pure in spirit, good-natured, and dispassionate in thought, word, and deed. A true devotee of Lord Rama, always represented with his power and his knowledge. Lord Rama was the prince of Ikshvaku race. He was virtuous, of manly strength. He was the lord of the mind and the senses, brave and valiant. He was yet gentle and modest. He was a sage in counsel, kind and sweet in speech, most courteous and handsome in appearance. He was the master of all the divine weapons and a great warrior, ever devoted to the good and prosperity of his kingdom and his subjects, defender of the weak and protector of the righteous, endowed with numerous powers of the mind, well versed in sciences, military science as well as the science of the self, deep and unfathomable like the ocean, firm and steadfast like the Himalayan mountains, valiant as Lord Vishnu. He was the joy of Kaushalya, Ram's mother. Through fierce like fire on the battlefield, he was calm like the cool breeze of Mandara hills, patient like Mother Earth, bounteous like the God of wealth, and righteous like the God of justice himself. In the pains and griefs of his people, his heart swiftly sympathized with the sufferers. In the festive scenes, he held them in joy, like a father shared their joys. By his honor and heroism, his gentleness and love for his subjects, he greatly endeared himself to the hearts of his people. Such a great person was the Supreme Lord Shri Rama. Lord Rama was the best of men, with a sterling character, the very image of love, the ideal son, ideal brother, ideal husband, ideal friend, and ideal king, taken to embody all the highest ideals of man, led the ideal life of a householder to teach the tenets of righteousness to humanity. He ruled his people so well that it became to known as Ram Rajya, which means the rule of righteousness, the rule which bestows happiness and prosperity on all. The noblest lesson embodied in the Ramayana is the supreme importance of righteousness in the life of every human being. To a devotee, Shri Rama is not simply a good and great person, but God Himself. Ram was the son of King Dasharatha of Ayodhya, also the divine, omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient God. The destruction of the 10-headed Ravan signifies the annihilation of the mind and the 10 senses. Worship of Lord Rama is worship of all-pervading God Himself. The prayers offered by Mandotri, the wife of Ravan, and Brahma in Yudhkand of Ramayana, all of them refer to Ram as the creator of the universe, the God of all, the ruler of the universe. Devotion to God is not a simple emotion, it's a result of intense dispassion and purity of heart and attitude. The qualities that are extolled in the Ramayana and exemplified in the life of Lord Rama. Emotions may rise up in temporary to a kind of ecstasy, but to experience divine consciousness, devotion is a fruit which ripens gradually through the process of self-restraint and virtue. Without intense dispassion, there can be no real sadhana or self-realization. Only after detachment from the world of things is it possible to attain the Supreme Godhead. Lord Rama is extremely fond of those who surrendered themselves to Him, and He has given this promise in the Ramayana: to anyone who once takes shelter under me and solicits, I am yours, I will bestow fearlessness from all beings. This is my vow. And as the Ramayana is greatly known for the saying of Shri Rama, Prana jaye par vachan na jaye, always fulfiller of any vows, any words. The name of Lord Rama is a great purifier of heart. It wipes away all sins. Not only this, it wipes away sinful tendencies as well. The name of Ram is sweeter than the sweetest of objects. It is the haven of peace, very life of pure souls. It quenches the consuming fire of worldly desires. It awakens the knowledge of God and bathes the aspirant in the ocean of divine bliss. All glories to Shri Ram and his name. In the Upanishad, Ram Rahasya Upanishad, the great sages led by Sanak asked Hanuman, please tell us the mantra for meditating or worshipping the Tarak Brahma Ram. And in reference to that, Sri Hanuman replied, the king of mantra is the Ek Akshar, one syllable, which is the storehouse of fire, which is Lord Vishnu, who is lying down, and also Lord Shiva, who is adorned with the crescent moon. It is Brahma and it is Gayatri. The Lord Ram is the Ang, waxing half moon, and his mind is the soul of fire. Its root is the Bij Shakti, and in chanting it fulfills all desires. The Dhyan stroke for the mantra is, he who sits on the lotus flower on the shores of river Saryu, he who is black seated on the throne of the heroes, who shines in the Gnan Mudra that he shows, whose left side is adorned by Sita and Lakshmana, he who shines as their soul to these souls who pray to him, who is like the clear crystal, who is the only source to those who wish for salvation. He who is Paramatma to those thinkers, he, Shri Rama, who shines like the millions of the suns, is like Narayan residing in the nadis, who is the digestive fire. The king of mantras with 2 syllables, Ram, would lead to fulfillment of all desires, and by adding suffixes to the letter, it becomes 6 different mantras like Om Ram, Rim Ram, Shrim Ram, Klim Ram, Aim Ram, Ram Ram. This king of mantras, consisting of 3 syllables, also will fulfill all desired. The 2 4-lettered mantras, Ramachandra, Ramabhadra, and this is from the Ram Rahasya Upanishad. O devotees, recite his name, sing his glory, and serve his lotus feet. Enthroned in your heart, Lord Rama of dark hue, whose image is reflected in the heart of all the devotees. Blessed is the pious soul who uninterruptedly drinks the nectar of Sri Ram's name, which has been churned out of the oceans of the Vedas and removes the impurities of Kali Yuga, or the Iron Age which we live in. Ram Nam burns ignorance, passion and sin. With or without knowledge, correctly or incorrectly, when the word Ram is pronounced, it showers a rain of good upon the devotees. Shri Ram is the Brahman who takes one across the ocean of worldly existence. Ram is the one in a cross whom the yogis sport, and that is within the self. Lord Shiv also tells his consort Parvati, Ram Nam is equal to the Lord's 1,000 names or repetition of the mantra 1,000 times. Shri Ram is also a wish-fulfilling tree. He will bestow upon one whatever they want. And that is from Lord Shiv. The Sid of all good things, the destroyer of all impurities, in this age of darkness, purer than purity itself, the food for the journey of aspirants on the path to salvation, their only resting place, the very life breath of virtuous men is the divine name of Shri Ram. On the auspicious occasion of Rama Navami, take a firm resolve to repeat Ram Nam with every breath, and you will endure to lead a righteous life. Rama Navami is one of the most important festivals of the Vaishnava sect of the Sanatana Vedic Hindu dharmas, literally throughout the world. It's celebrated in temples and they're decorated with the image of Lord Rama, and also there's Abhishek on this day. Spiritual seekers do as much job as possible. The sacred mantra Om Shri Ramaya Namaha or Om Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram are chanted. Devotees read the whole of the Ramayana, either the Sanskrit version or the Hindi version of Sri Tulsidas, the Sanskrit version of sage Rishi Valmiki, during the 9 days. Devotees greet one another with Jai Shri Ram Ji Ki. On the day of Rama Navami, the grand worship of Lord Rama in the gorgeously decorated temples and Vedic rituals, including the yagnas, are performed right from Brahma Muhurat till the night. Earnest seekers resolve to accelerate their spiritual progress on this day. O beloved seekers of Shri Ram, time is absolutely fleeting away. Know the value of time. Time is most precious. Utilize every second. Abandon idleness. Forget the past. Live every moment of your life for the realization of the divine ideal and goal. Unfold your latent faculties. Grow, evolve, and become dynamic. Ramayana is the religious epic of the Sanatana Vedic Hindu Dharma. It is highly adored, and the story of the emperor in Treta Yuga called King Dasharatha, who had 3 wives, Kaushalya, Sumitra and Kaikeyi. He had no children and was worried for a future emperor of Ayodhya. And as suggested by the great Rishi Vashishtha, to perform the Putra Karmeshti Yagna to fulfill the desire for a child. After the yagna, given divine kheer by the Yagneshwar, he offered it to his 3 wives, who all conceived, and on the 9th day of Chaitra month, at noon, Kaushalya gave birth to Shri Rama. Ram, the 7th Incarnation of Lord Vishnu. He took birth on earth to eradicate adharma and maintain dharma and protect his devotees from the attack of demons. He vanquished all adharma from the earth by destroying all the asurs, including the great Ravan. People of Ayodhya extremely happy with the new King Ram. And this is the celebration of Shri Rama Navami, always full of Shri Ram Nam. Om Ram Shri Ram Klim Ram Rim Ram. Jai Jai Shri Ram.